everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chana and this is Jar of Fireflies. Here I make videos all about my life as an Orthodox Jewish homeschooling mother of 3. And today I'll be taking you all along for a day in our lives that just happens to be the last day of school. Okay folks, yes, that is right. Today is just a random weekday that I will be taking you all through, which also happens to be our last official day of school for the school year. Now, we really school all year round, so that's kind of a little bit of a misnomer, but our school drastically changes in the summer, and I can chat a little bit more about that later. But for today, there's a few unit studies, things that I wanted to finish up so that we can kind of put aside the bulk of our schoolwork for the summer and just continue on during the summer with a few core subjects. So anyways, today has started out absolutely beautifully. I woke up nice and early, a couple hours before the kids, so I had some wonderful quiet time there to myself where I could just dive in, pray quietly at my own pace. I got to play with the dog a little bit and kind of do a couple little things around the house, like get a little laundry started and stuff like that. So it's around 9 a.m. right now. The kids have all woken up here just recently and they're in the kitchen eating some cereal for breakfast. Speaking of breakfast, let me give a huge shout out thank you to today's sponsor, Magic Spoon Cereal. You guys know how much we love Magic Spoon cereal in this house. I have talked about them so many times before, and I'm very happy to be able to share with you again how much we love Magic Spoon cereal. Magic Spoon is cereal reinvented. Magic Spoon cereals have 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. Side note, the new Honey Nut does have 1 gram of sugar. All right, there are only 140 calories per serving, and they're also keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and kosher. Having kids who love cereal and being a mom who loves convenient foods that are good for my family, Magic Spoon is a most excellent fit, especially these days for my late night pregnancy cravings. So click the link in my pinned comment or in the description box below to get your Magic Spoon cereal today. You can build your very own variety box and use my code Fireflies for $5 off your order. You can choose from the best-selling cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, my personal favorite cookies and cream, my kids' new favorite maple waffle, or blueberry muffin and cinnamon roll. But wait, Magic Spoon has now added Honey Nut to their permanent collection. So be sure to add Honey Nut to your box so you can try it out. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that it is backed by a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they will refund your money, no questions asked. So click the link below and use code Fireflies for $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/firefly to save $5 off your order today, and be sure to add Honey Nut to your custom box. Also, for my Canadian and British friends, Magic Spoon is now shipping to Canada and the UK. All right, and now back to me. Okay, so like I said, we are going to be going to a creek today to play with some friends. So in order to prepare for that, because I think we're still going to be there around lunchtime, and at the very least we will need snacks, I'm going to go in and pack us a little picnic, and then we'll be able to hit the road. Eating our meals outside has become one of our favorite things to do as a family. For about the past year, I'd say we have been eating at least 1 meal outdoors every week, often more than that, especially when we're having really good weather. But really in all weather, even rain or heat, whatever, we'll still have at least 1 meal a week outdoors. Today I'm keeping it super simple, just going with some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, some fruit and pretzels, and just some other random side things that I know each of my kids likes. I did bring out my box of all the fun fruit picks and things like that, but then opted not to use them since we were going to the creek, and I was a little worried that they might not make it home. It's one thing to have a picnic like that in a pavilion at a picnic table, another thing next to the water. While I was making their lunches, the kids were running around getting dressed in swimsuits and looking for water shoes and trying just to help get things ready so we could get out the door faster. I pretty much knew we weren't going to make it on time today, but I was hoping we wouldn't be too late, and we're just doing our best around here. As I'm closing these little lunch boxes, you can start to see all the little differences that I have in each of their lunches. You know, I've got one kid who really wanted to have cherry tomatoes, my lunch there with the dried fruit and the nuts, just different things like that in each of our lunches. I finished up packing the lunches. I ended up grabbing my oldest's lunch and opening that back up again and adding in a little note. A long time ago, I wrote a bunch of these notes with fun little quotes, and just they're already in envelopes, so I don't even know which one that I pulled. We'll have to find out later, but I snuck that in there that he can read to his siblings. Okay, lunches are ready, and I think we are ready to hit the road. Okay, so we made it to the creek. It was a little slow going getting out the door. Would have actually liked to get here like an hour ago, but we could not find water shoes. But that's okay. We're gonna get all this sorted out and get back in a groove soon enough. But I'm really glad that we're here. I think that we all need the outdoor time for sure, because we have not been going out so many places these days. So this is gonna be super fun. The creek itself was so beautiful and relaxing. We've never seen other people here besides just our friends that we meet up here at the creek, so it's sort of like our secret little spot, and I kind of love that. The kids love it. It's nice and shady. The water was nice and cool. There were tons of little fish and frogs and crawdads and all kinds of little wildlife that our kids could play with and see. And here is our note. It's an Albert Einstein quote. The most important thing is to not stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Kind of perfect for today, I think. Okay, and that is that. We were here for a couple hours. We enjoyed our lunches, and now we're ready to go home. Okay, so we are home from the creek. It was fun. I'm glad that we went. It was definitely took like a lot out of me to go, but I'm still glad that I went because the kids had fun and they really needed to get out of the house and have some nature time like that. So anyhow, it's about 2 o'clock right now. And like I said, we're home, and the kids just finished eating up the picnics that they had, that they didn't finish there. They finished up here. They're taking turns hopping in the shower to get all like the creek water and mud off of themselves. And yeah, I already took a shower and changed and everything. Before I hopped in the shower though, I did, since I was already like sweaty and gross and was gonna change my clothes and take a shower anyways, I popped out back on the patio and gave our dog Bella a quick bath. So she's looking pretty fancy. Okay, so that is pretty much what's going on right now. The kids are gonna finish up taking their showers, and then we will start on the last couple of things that I wanted to get done for school today. And then there's just like a little bit of general housework stuff, and I don't really know what else, but we'll figure it out. Okay, here we go with our final 2 formal lessons of the school year. All the rest of their work will be independent work, so this is our last 2 group lessons. So first up is our final artist study, our final painting in our final artist study. We've been studying Vermeer, so today's painting was called The Milkmaid. We've really enjoyed this artist study, and this was a great picture to finish up the study with. There were such cool things about the paint that Vermeer used, and so many neat little things in his paintings, as always, you know, that we were able to notice, like the tile on the wall and the foot warmer on the floor. So a really fun way to end up our artist studies. And then we moved on to our last science unit, our last lesson of our last science unit for the year. We have been studying ecosystems, and this was our final lesson in that unit study. We did some reading, had some discussions, and did a few activities that really just brought all of this home, brought it all together, and just wrapped up this science unit study for us for this year. Well, happy day. I just woke up from a nap, so I'm feeling quite refreshed and much better than I did earlier when we got home from the creek. I guess that really did take it out of me, but that's, I'm sure, to be expected. Okay, so what's happening in my house right now? All right, so my daughter is also resting, and the boys are working on cleaning their room and helping me a little bit with the laundry, moving it from machine to machine because I am done with that these days. And now I'm gonna work on kind of putting things away here now that we've finished our last day of school. As usually happens, I was a little sad pulling down our artist study. Whenever we finish one of our paintings that we have studied for our artist studies, I hang them up somewhere in our classroom, study, my room, whatever you want to call this room of requirement. And we are able to enjoy them and continue looking at them and see the different works of the artist all together. So pulling that down is always like a little bittersweet. Next, I moved over here to our bookshelf where I started pulling off items that we are not using over the summer, things that we're not using next year, things that we're finished with or that I didn't get to, things that I'm maybe reassessing. I had done a lot of storage in general on these shelves over this past year and have decided to move that elsewhere. Anything that had been sort of just stored here, I want out of this room. I just want to keep it a little bit more minimal. I know that's such a joke. This room is anything but minimal. But I wanted to keep the homeschool stuff really to just what we're using and what we need. Then it was over here to the science wall. We were finished with this unit study, so all of these definitions that we have been studying over the year and coming back to, I can now pull down off the wall. So I pulled those down. They just hung up there with some washi tape so they wouldn't damage anything on the door. I just folded that tape over because it would damage the paper if I did try to pull that off. And I just tucked them back inside of the binder that contains the rest of the unit study so that we can use that at a later date. Okay, my room feels totally different now that we are not doing major schoolwork right now. It's a little weird. So yeah, normally I always have like an artist study going up here and they always come down, but we start the next one right away. And that obviously we're not going to do artist studies here over the summer. And same with the science wall that was on the back of the door over on the other side of the room. So once we were finished with that science unit, which was today, then I took all that stuff down, and if it was the middle of the school year, we would just start another unit. That unit was like 9 weeks long. But anyways, so the same goes for the wall of the science stuff over here on my door. After a unit is over, we would take it down and just start the next unit, but we're not doing that because it's gonna be summer. We're gonna take that couple of months off. Okay, let's talk for a little bit about how I organize everything behind me. I kind of shuffled things around a little bit. Okay, these are items that we are still going to be using at the beginning of the school year next year. They're either things that we didn't use this year that I just still had out, or they're things that we are pausing on and continuing for next year. So for example, history. We didn't finish this history book. No big deal. We switched our history curriculum like 3 times this year. I had no intention of finishing this entire book. We'll just continue with it next year. So I've just moved it up there along with the activity book that goes next to it. And that's mostly what this stuff is it's units that we started so much later in the year because we did change curriculum so much. And I will be making a video recapping our homeschool year and kind of how that craziness went. But anyways, so that stuff is all up here for us to be able to use next year. And then on this shelf, this little bit down here, these are items that my kids will still use throughout the summer. So even though like our school year is technically over, they're still going to be working on math throughout the summer. And they also have their handwriting books, which they have not finished yet. So once those are done, again, those were purchased mid-year, didn't expect them to finish, but I would like them to continue working on those just casually when they feel like it over the summer so that we can finish those before next year begins. And there's a reading workbook that my daughter's been working on that I'd like her to keep working on. We're gonna keep working on her reading over the summer. Okay, now I just opened some Amazon packages. I got my son's handwriting book for next year. We're gonna be using this cursive book, which I'm pretty excited about. And so is he, because it is Harry Potter. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add that to our top shelf, because he does not need to start that until next year. And I also picked up these 2 different sizes of graph paper. So this one is a 2x2 graph paper and this one is a 4x4 graph paper. And I just got these so that my son can really nicely be able to line up some of his math problems, because as his problems are getting bigger and bigger, this is just going to be really helpful for him. So I'm adding that there to the bottom shelf for now. I'm gonna kind of reorganize some of our school stuff in general over the summer, as far as like how I'm setting everything up in here. But for now, that's where that's gonna go, so that he will have easy access to that over the summer as he's finishing up his math book. Oh, so this is fun. My kids are so motivated to finish their math books now and their handwriting books. So I told them that since these math books and the handwriting books, like they're consumables, we can't reuse them. I have told my kids that we can burn them when they're done. So once they have finished with math, we'll have a bonfire and they can burn their math books. They are so excited about this. Same with their handwriting books. They're like, when are we having a bonfire? And I'm like, I don't know. When are you gonna finish those last few lessons? So yeah, that's super fun and odd motivation, but fun times. Okay, so in the meantime, I have made a stack of things over here on my table, and these will get moved out this week at some point. I'll move them out this week at some point. I'm not in a rush to clear off this table right now, but I will move them out because these are things that we have finished using for the year, or they're items that I was storing in here that we're just not using this year or probably next year. So those are going to be moved into a closet where I have a bookshelf and a closet where I keep like curriculum stuff that I'm not using, but I want to reorganize that whole closet before I move that in. Can you tell that I'm nesting? Just a little bit. Okay, so that is that. Last day of school fun and kind of how we wrap up school here. Pretty, not super exciting. We're not having like a big party or anything like that. It's just kind of a normal day and just finishing up those last couple of lessons in those 2 units. And we'll just keep on trekking through the summer with a little math, little handwriting, little reading. So, oh, and speaking of reading, my son is also doing a summer reading program that I found for him online, where he has like a reading log, and he has little coupons. When he finishes books, he'll get a coupon for a prize, things like a popsicle or a new book, or they're like little things, but it's fun. And there's also like a bingo in there where he can mark off when he's like read a book about a boy his age, read a book about a girl his age, read a book that takes place in another country, read a book where the main character is an animal, like fun things like that. So he's really enjoying, he's already started on that and he's really enjoying that so far. Okay, and with that, I think we're gonna go ahead and call this last day of school, day in the life, done. I'm pretty excited. All that's really left in my day is to make dinner for the kids and hopefully go to bed early. And dinner may very well be some leftovers that we have in the fridge. But anyways, that's the day. That's how our last day of school goes down. Pretty uneventful. I've actually never made a last day of school vlog, so this was kind of fun. Please be sure to click like if you enjoyed this video. I would super appreciate that. And be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I would absolutely love to see you here again. And be sure to click my link down there in the description box so that you can get your Magic Spoon cereal. Use code Fireflies for $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/fireflies to save $5 off your order today. All right, and with that, we are done. Thank you all so much for being here. As always, I super appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in my next upload. I did my morning prayers and hung out with the dog and had breakfast. and stuff like that. And got a little morning sickness when it's like 5 o'clock.